Audio test. Audio test. Okay, audio's good. Get the parse. The combat log and clean it because it's 300 megabytes. It's locking up SCM. Okay, combat log cleared. So what I'm going to be trying today is just like an updated version of my existing torpedo build that I did on the Scimitar. It's not going to be anything too fancy. The big changes are I'm trying out ceaseless momentum, and I want to try out this relocate mines buildy. So for the relocate mines, what I've went and done is crafted a photon mine launcher, upgraded it, re-engineered it, all that fun stuff. So I've got that ready to go. But now that I think about it, I have not re-engineered any of these, and I think these can all be re-engineered now. Yep. So I'm gonna beam back down and start re-engineering some torpedoes, because I haven't really played much since they added the ability to re-engineer these torpedoes. I honestly forgot that they had done that. I'm going to go with damage on most of them, but I'm gonna need more salvage, so let me just look for Mark XI, then look for rare. I wish there was a salvage window like there is for the replicator, so I could just go through and quickly click to salvage a bunch of items. I was originally going to use the competitive rep mines today, but then I remembered that this torpedo build is photon based and uses photon consoles, so I just decided to stick with that photon mine. I'm gonna go for damage on all these, though I am going to need much more salvage at this rate. That's one done. Yeah. Good morning. Okay, this should be enough to get a few rolls done. This is a bit more expensive, but it might save me some time. Can't salvage those. I'm having a lot of luck here, finally. Now to get this one to go. I'm gonna need a lot more salvage for that. Let's see. Let me look under the other categories to see if there's anything cheaper that I can buy to salvage. Yeah, these work. This is really bad luck with these rolls. Just trying to get all these torpedoes over to damage times 4, but they don't want to go to damage times 4. I need this epic mod to go crit D damage. There it goes. Well, that sucked. Okay. Yes. RNG is always a very fun thing. Okay, so I have an endeavor to destroy Borg ships, so what I'm going to do is beam up, make sure everything's still on the tray and all that. And then I could do ISA, but that would be too terrible for this build, so I'm just gonna do like a cure. And instead of tractor beam, I'm gonna go TBR. It's just easier to use TBR. And I'm just gonna spam it for the trait, the unconventional systems trait here. This trait, whenever you use a control bridge officer ability, it will reduce the cooldown on your universal consoles. So let me just show that quick. I'll use Domino, and then I'll hit tractor beam repulsors. You saw the cooldown just jump down a little. I mean, yeah, I can go reverse TBR. I've got the DOF to do it, it's just, it eats up a slot. I'll drop my crit chance officer here. Need to find a Gragamal that is not bound. How do I not have one in this that's not bound? Because I've used Gragamal in this character before. I don't feel like equipping another duty officer that costs how much when I know I've already got one that's bound. All doffs got unbound. Yeah, that seems fitting for Cryptic. Hello, Kurt. Okay. I'm gonna do a Kier Advanced. That's crazy that they unbound every single doff. That's some potential EC you can make there if you want to sell some of your really valuable doffs that you had. Little bit of lag here. Evasive maneuvers failed to fire. It means, I'm guessing that if you're, whatever duty officers you had that were not equipped, you can now move to other characters. Thank you for joining, Ranger. So I'm going to swap characters and just see. I want to see something. Just what doffs exactly I had that were, well, that are now unbound on other characters. Just going to check my Fed tac. Well, I guess both my Fed tacs. Yeah, the lag is really bad. And this is just a mess right here. What is going on? That's, so it's popping up 4 universal endeavors for me. That's, very interesting. Okay, what was it? Checking. Doffs. That means I should have some energy weapon officers on some characters that are now unbound. The only doffs that I have here that are actually bound still are just the ones that are unique and always bound. That's really nice. So let me just sort by energy weapon officer. Very rare. I don't think I have any on this character.
Condition Alpha. Repeat. Condition Alpha.
What about my other Fed tech? Yep, unbound. That's an unbound crit deed off. I could sell that right now. What's that going for? About 100 mil. Certainly a good option. The difference between the rares and the very rare crit D, crit H DOS isn't that huge. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this character. I need to get just a few more disco marks, so I guess I'll do a Starbase one. A very repetitive queue. That's Starbase 1. Let's see if we can get an elite. See if the queue pops on that. While that goes, I'm gonna go see what these messages are. Oh, we got a pop.
Listen up. The war has not been going well for the Federation, and the Klingons are advancing to our position. We need to hold off their ship.
What do I got in here? Wow, they still haven't fixed this search menu. Used to be when you went into this search thing, it would only tell you people in your map. Bad leg. Ranger? No. I can't fly to a target though because I just overshoot everything with this lag. Go back to this group over here. Well, it's not the ship causing the overshooting, it's just this poor server performance. I don't know what exactly happened with the new season that's caused this just like jump in server lag. That's good, Ranger. I'm gonna keep using it then. Just to make you feel bad.
Reading some heavier ships incoming.
I'm gonna try to do an HSE in a little bit, I think. Not very survivable, that's for sure. I could replace Domino with Protomatter or some other survivability if I wanted. Basically just sitting on this gravity well, just farming anything that goes into it. I don't know why they undid the changes they did to the buff bar. Like, everything used to be sorted and now it's just a mess. I think that this relocate mines ability should have a slightly lower cooldown. I know they've already lowered it quite a bit from what it originally was, but I still feel it would be better off being at a lower cooldown. Perhaps I don't know, somewhere between 30 to 45 seconds. Like, I just... Mines really need a lot of help. Yeah, it's currently 60 seconds.
That'll hold them off, for now. I don't know how much longer we can keep up with this kind of war.
I want to take a look at the parse for that. I know Starbase 1 isn't a good parsing map, but I still want to just take a look at the parse here. Whatever the parser loads, that is. So that mine, I mean, the mine was the... There. Oh, I closed it, so it... Okay. Just give it a minute. I just cleaned the combat log out here. It was like 300 megs, so it's still acting a bit slow. So mines were 5th on there. It's just about 7k. Need to try it in some more scenarios though. What all was under pets? Isolating terror. Let's take a look at that cure run from before. I didn't actually look at the bars from that. The Terran, even with Scattered Volley 1 and no TAC consoles on, came out in first place. Chemosite 2 did okay. Where are the mines at on here? There's a mine down there. Just make sure I didn't miss the mine. No. The mines just didn't do that well in that cure. I also have no mine dispersal patterns on, so that's gonna slightly impact the mines a little, I imagine. I just don't have room. Okay. So the reason I had the domino on, I think I went over this when I originally did the build. the idea was to take advantage of this Terran 3-piece, where for the short duration you get, for every torp you fire, you get a free additional torp to fire that's like just a basic torp of that type. So if I fire a photon, I'm getting a free photon afterwards. So the reason I use the domino is the damage buff, and it has the plus 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. So my idea was just to use that to help buff them and to just help the torps fire faster. Now with ceaseless momentum, that's probably not needed, but for right now I'll just leave it on just to try it out. And I should find a way to fit a mine dispersal pattern on, but there's no really good way for me to put it on. I could drop chemo down to chemo 1, but that could be a significant, well, not significant, but a noticeable DPS loss. And dropping the Torp spread 3 off would not be that good either. I'll try dropping the chemo 1 down. They really need to just figure out whatever they need to do to dump these mine abilities down 1 rank. And that's honestly what they just need to figure out how to do, if they really want to help mines. Yeah, beta 1, and then I'll do chemo 1. Just thinking if there's anything else I should change here. Well, the competitive engines, what ones do I have on right now? I've got firing mode, okay. With me having 4 different firing modes on, I'll just stick with the TAC version of the competitive engines for now. I'm gonna give unconventional systems a shot for right now, just because I haven't actually used it yet. I want to try this setup in an HSC. Who do we have on right now that can actually tank an HSC? I'll get the queue started and just call it out in elites. Ranger, I know you'll probably want to get on this, but your Torp build might interfere. Actually, I think I've got TVR pull on. I'm gonna dump that off. I don't want to be pulling things closer to me right now. Swap that back off, or actually I'll do the shield distribution officer. That gives you a heal for shots out while beta's up. Just because I'm going to need that little bit of survivability. I know. I'm just gonna give this specific loadout a shot. It's gonna be... I mean, it's probably not gonna do too much if the HSE lag as much as I expect them to. I guess... Let me see here. I'm gonna be sitting still quite a bit, so maybe something for survivability. Not really many good options on what to drop here. Could drop anchored, but that'll come in handy later on. Just tell me when you're ready, Ranger. Oh, has everyone here heard about what's wrong with the, reputation dual beam banks? These, like, wide arc, heavy dual beam banks, their damage is about half of what it's supposed to be. They apparently completely missed that when they were testing it in QA. So that fix will probably be live next week. Yeah, they're heavies, So they have less shots, but they're supposed to do more damage with each shot to compensate, and right now they're not. Bordicus was talking about it on a Reddit thread I saw earlier. I don't have that link in front of me right now, but they are going to be buffed quite a bit next week. Buffs right there. I am pulling a lot of threat here. I am pulling way too much threat there.
This is not The end.
Oh, that was interesting. Let's take a look at that parse. So I forgot to put my drone ships back on the tray for apparently like everything I did in the first part of the stream, so they weren't doing anything until just now. Um, let's see. Mines are down here at 7.5k. I don't know, they just need more runs to see more numbers. That's not that impressive right now. Let's see what else here. Chemo still did okay with just Chemo 1. Concentrate Firepower, of course, very powerful ability, did very well. I don't know, I need to test this a bit more. There's just not enough there to go on. And someone scanned, so most of the people in that run just got a cooldown. Okay. Terrible ranger. More shields in space or crit chance on the ground? I guess crit chance. Because shields are basically worthless. Okay. Someone scanned in that, so I am going to, I guess, just an ISA public queue. Let's see how bad this goes. I'm very out of practice for ISA, HSC, all this stuff, so this will be an interesting round. Okay, I guess I didn't queue. I was wondering why that queue hadn't popped yet, and it took me out of it for some reason. So I mean, I could've... If those spheres hadn't been loose there at the end, which I should have been running tractor beam repulsors with the pulled off instead of the push one still, but yeah, I think with a smoother run that would have been really interesting. I'm gonna pull that one up in the parser also. And you get that window open again, analyze, player combat analysis, and let's see. Pets, 29k, let's take a look at that. Drone ships, 15k, not surprising. Isolated tear from the Sona Intel battlecruiser trait that I'm running. What is that? Subspatial warheads, and of course does a decent amount. Okay, let's go back to just player damage. Photon mines, that's a better number right there. 16k coming in at number 2. And I'm just using stock crafted photon mines re-engineered to damage times 4 and then the double damage mod. Terran of course still coming in high, concentrate firepower. Yeah, nothing too surprising from the rest. So there's 2 approaches to Torp builds right now. The first is using a ship with command abilities, or with access to command abilities, so you can use concentrate firepower. Concentrate firepower, you mark a target, and you shooting that target gives you a high yield every few seconds. That's one approach, and then you have a really powerful high yield torpedo like the enhanced biomolecular to go along with that, and it just does devastating damage. The other common approach nowadays is to use entwined tactical matrices. This is off the Gagarin that was released earlier this year. When you activate fire at will or scatter volley, it gives you a torpedo spread 1 to yourself. So I have my fire at will and scatter volley in front of my actual torpedo spread on my tray, and with that I'm getting 3 torpedo spreads every 15 seconds potentially. And with that, with the entwined tactical matrices trait, or however you want to pronounce it, ETM, it's just easier to say. To make that work, you need a ship that is able to slot scatter volley 1, fire at will 1, and then a torpedo spread of any rank. Ranger, you can invite me. I didn't get the cooldown from that. I got out of there before whoever scanned. But like, I'm doing a mixed approach with this specific Torp build, which is part of the reason I feel it works so well. I'm taking advantage of both the concentrated firepower, ETM, and now ceaseless momentum, which if you're a Fed, you can get really cheap off the exchange. This ceaseless momentum trait gives you a lot of kinetic buffs, and every time you fire a torpedo, you reduce the cooldown of the other torpedoes. What I'd be interested to try now is a boat with a few of these Kelvin timelines on them. Like these Kelvins fire really fast. Yes, Windows. I've thought I've disabled these notifications, but apparently not. Yeah, Ranger is saying that between Ceaseless, this ferrofluid console, which is from the Terran Rep, it's the Terran Rep set console, and then 2 of these Kelvin torpedoes to keep the Ceaseless trait just proccing, you can have all of your torps at a global cooldown. Because these Kelvins fire so fast. 4-second recharge. They're insanely good. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a drink while Ranger gets this queue set up. Back in a minute. Okay. This looks like we've... Okay, we're just waiting for someone, and they'll be the tank. Okay. Thank you, Ranger, for getting this set up. I just want to mess around with this low-buy console. I haven't used it at all yet. Yeah, torpedoes, as much as I dislike them, because they're mechanically, they are not very well supported at all in this game, and mines are even worse. But torpedoes are certainly very, very fun. The issue is there are some big flaws that they have that the developers so far have been unwilling to take care of. The big standout for me right now, especially, is this concentrate firepower. You know, that this is. There needs to be a self version of this ability. It would immensely help torpedo users. As is this concentrate firepower, if you have anyone else in the run that's using torpedoes, they will steal the buff from you. And then with mines, I mean, mines start at Lieutenant Commander. It's rough for mines. They're trying to help them, as you can see with relocate mines, but as I mentioned earlier, relocate mines are, even though they've already reduced the cooldown of it from 2 minutes to a minute, it's still not enough. I would say between 30 to 45 seconds would be quite a bit better for that ability. I don't know exactly what it means by mind creep, but I'm going to try it.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
I don't know what to stop. There it goes. Let me get the parse up now. The EBM did really well there. 43k. Concentrate firepower did 29k. Kinetic shearing, very nice. Pets. That was mostly drone ships. Chemo did well. The mines did a little bit better there. But there was 2 different mines on, so should be seeing a bit more from them. I was expecting to see higher numbers, but I just do not. Okay. So there's the other mine. I was wondering where it was. So 13k on the photon mine. Modulating mine did 5.2. So I'm just going to take that back off because there's just not enough buffs on for that being its quantum based. These modulating mines are really nice. They're from the competitive reputation. If you look at them from a stat perspective compared to other mines, they should be really good. But with this build being so photon based, it's just not working out. Okay, so I'm going to disable the mine creep. They're actually worse. Okay. So Ranger is saying that they're actually not that good because the base damage is too low. Interesting. Let me find some other console to put on here. I know I have another mine console. Is this it? Just thinking about what else I can try here. The thing is, having too many consoles and having not played that much recently means I don't remember what a large portion of them, like what the icons are. I'll do Domino again. I'm ready, Ranger. Gonna use Domino and have all the Torps on auto fire still. Just for you. All my targets keep disappearing.
I admire your strength. Your efforts are futile. I will destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
That spike at the start was really quite high. I'm gonna pull the parser up here once it loads. And that should warp out of the map. But my targets for quite a bit of that, they just kept disappearing. I don't know what's up there. Enhanced Biomold did a lot of work there. 55k almost. That's just the power of concentrate firepower. That's why when people say they can do a Torp build without concentrate firepower, it's I mean, you can, but it's not going to be anywhere near as effective. ETM's a good trait, but it can't do this. Okay, where are the mines at this time? 5.6. Another underwhelming run for the mines. Mines really aren't doing that much. It's not that surprising. Let's take a look at that jump, or that peak at the start there. Spike. 1.2 mil. That's from just going in, taking advantage of all the spheres being gravelled at that tack cube at the top. I know that most size at this level of play are going to do that, so to spike up the DPS a bit more, and to help get rid of those spheres, I just really focus on that area. And then after that, it's a matter of just going in, cleaning up the remaining cubes. So, get the spheres out of the way first with the really powerful Gravwell, and yeah. Yep, I'm ready. Waiting for the map to load. I should probably tank anchored off after this. I'm not sitting still enough for anchored. I keep moving around. Not mean to hit that there. Just meant to concentrate firepower on accident. I'm dead this time. I went in too far. Hello, Stargate. I went in way too far that time. I drew aggro from the back and the tank was in the front. So before it ticked down there, it was like 294. 100. I just pushed a bit too far in. Let's look at the parse for that one. Okay, so the EBM did good again. Basically the same as before, though the mine did much more that time. It did like 5 or 6k last run, and then this run it did 17.6k. So that was just a matter of the mines being alive and actually hitting their target. In the previous runs, I've probably been hitting them in bad spots or hitting the relocate mines ability in bad spots and just having them destroyed by like a warp core breach or something. So in that's last run, they were actually able to do something. And there's a bunch of abilities in the parse because that's just what Torp builds look like. Lots and lots of different abilities, so I'm not going to go over everything. Crit chance on the mines, 85%. Crit chance on the Torp, 76. Yeah, pretty common. There's a mine trait. What was the name of it? Don't remember. Came out of a lockbox a very long time ago. I think it made the Torps move faster or something. Or not the Torps, the mines. My bad. I should have resonating. I completely forgot about that trait. Resonating payload modification. Harasser mines. Might be. Let me go. I'm gonna go look at the wiki. I don't remember exactly what the trait did, so I can't describe it too much. I just thought it was an old lockbox trait. The hot pursuit, yeah, I think that was it. Just to make them move faster. I don't know if I have it on this character. No. I don't have room for it right now anyways, so I'll have to grab one later on to mess with. Just see if that helps the mines at all. How many mines do I have to put on this to call this a mine build instead of a Torp build? Do I need to have all the aft weapon slots as mines? Is that what I have to do?
Only fools dream of victory where none can be had.
remember how I went too deep last time? I just did the same thing.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another. You provide clarity. You have strength of purpose. You
Hello, hate one. That was a much better run for me. Let me pull that parse up on screen. Because I think overall that's my highest HSC Torp run yet. $71K from the biomolecular. That's the power concentrate firepower right there. Because I have no high yield slotted on my build. The only high yields I get are from concentrate firepower. That's 100K from an ability and a single torpedo. That's crazy. Pets, take a look there. Same as before. The drone ship's doing a lot of damage. Kinetic shearing did 24K. Very nice. The mines, though, where are they at this time? Only 7K. 7.3. Honestly, stuff was just dying too fast for them. I'm gonna grab that hot pursuit trait. I shouldn't burn it. It's probably really cheap on the exchange. I'm just gonna beam down, grab it quick. I need a minute ranger. $14 mil, okay. Yes, I'm using one of them that I have right here. Wasn't sure how many times I was gonna have to click that for that to go through. Okay, I'm dropping unconventional systems. I'm going to slot that hot pursuit. Then being I dropped that, I can... I'll put DRB on. The debuff is still there even though the aux power is drained by my aux to bat. Yeah, it looks good.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
That side just had the run of their life. Jeez, 360. That was a really bad run for my torps there. The enhanced biomold did much less than it did the previous few HSC runs. Only 17k, and last run it did like 70k. So a lot of variance, but that's gonna happen. Part of the reason my biomole likely did so much in the previous HSC runs was because I was getting the concentrate firepower procs off of the teammates also. And what happened in that run is most likely they got my concentrate firepower buffs. So concentrate firepower as is can work for you or it can work against you. But with you being able to take the buffs from your teammates, them being able to take buffs from you, it's gonna be rough. Yeah. As Ranger just said to me, there's a lot of variance because we have 3 Torp builds in this run, essentially. So, the previous run, that 320 something, that was just really lucky with the RNG. If concentrate firepower only granted torpedoes to the user that activated it, then it would be a much more consistent number. Instead, we have this pretty large variance. And I'm ready, Ranger. Nah, we don't need Ranger to get any good luck with his RNG. We gotta let him stay where he is. Ranger's a Torp user, and I think it really irritates him that I'm using auto fire on my Torps. And just doing a bunch of things that traditionally Torp users would not do. Or use. Surprised to see so many of these here. Yeah. There's a lot of the Romulan Enterprise J's in this system, though. Surprised to see so many people even have that ship on Romulans. It's an okay ship, but it's not too far ahead of many other cruisers. Ranger, you messed up. He had his go down fighting in the start phase. Yeah, that's the appropriate reaction to doing that. too close to warp core. Oh, Ranger's actually AFK. He had to go grab his dinner. Terrible. He just typed in chat, oh, dinner. That was a rough run.
This is not the end.
You have no idea how tempting it is to scan to give him an AFK penalty. It's so tempting. Just to mess with him.
You cannot defeat me. You cannot defeat the Borg.
Okay, so Ranger's gonna be AFK for a little bit, I imagine. I think we should scan. I don't remember if that'll give him an AFK or not, but if it did, he's gonna come back and there's gonna be some nice messages. I'm gonna try something different here. Domino's working pretty well, but I just wanna change things up just a little. Let's see, I just gotta find the console. There's just too many consoles. And the one I want wasn't actually appearing in that slot. Yeah, that's what I want. This is from the Shran, I believe the name is. One of the Andorian pilot escorts. I think it was Andorian. This is just a really nice console. Pulls everything in front of you. Really, it's not the most effective console, but it's really, really fun to use. So I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit, just to help my immersion. Gonna leave this, and I'm going to do a public ISAQ. Yeah, I don't remember what ship it is. What ship that console came off of. It's been a while. What were recent ship releases? I don't remember. Discovery ship, okay. Yeah, it's been so long I don't remember. I haven't really played this game much recently. Oh yeah, I remember what ship you're talking about. How long does an ISAQ take to pop now? It's a good question. I think we should go try that out. Whatever pops first is what I'll go into. So, mage. Already passed it, probably. Oh yeah, the Shran pilot. Okay. Hopefully there's some nice AoE in here because I'm gonna be a bit focused. What lag? just hit that on the wrong thing. I meant to hit that and attack you. $227. Thank you for the assist, Stargate. I messed up my concentrate firepower there at the end though. Let's take a look what that parse looked like. EBM, of course, doing very well. Pets, drone ships did 10k. That isolatic another 7.2, and then my the clicky I used, I can't remember the name of, the Beacon of Kalis or whatever, that did a bit. Mines did 12.5k there from the main mine ability. Might be a bit more scattered around here. Yeah. Nothing too different there. Did feel a little bit laggy, but not as bad as I've seen in other queues recently. I'm gonna wait for these cooldowns now, and then I'm going to do a CCA. Darn, I guess all the cooldowns that I need are done. CCA it is. CCA certainly is not as popular as it once was. If anyone wants to join, it's just the Crystalline Catastrophe Advanced Public Queue. And there it goes. Yeah, that works very well, the Shrine console. It pulls everything in around it. I forgot that they changed how the mechanics of this key work. You can't keep shooting it while it's building up that charge. And then I run right back into the charge while trying to run away from it. It's a bit laggy. Yeah, so it was really hard to tell if that console was working in there because Gravity Well's already so powerful against all that. But that console doesn't require much gravity skill investment or control investment, I mean. And it's super effective. Joe, I wish I had 1,000 keys. And if I did, no offense to anyone, but I'd be using them. I wouldn't be giving them away. But you're more than welcome to send me some keys, Joe. I know you're sitting on a stockpile of a few thousand. And that's your in-game name is what? @surprise77, right? Yeah. Joe's got a large stockpile of keys, and he goes to ESD sometimes and just gives them away. Yep. I need to clean this inventory out. Yeah, Joe, share the wealth, man. Now where did that crafting material just go in my inventory? How many keys have I used this year? It's hard to say. Overall, with the Section 31 box, I used around 400 keys and I didn't get a single ship. But overall, I mean, I've used quite a few lockboxes over the years. This year, certainly not as many as in the past, but still, I've opened quite a few over the years. The mines have had mixed results. There was 1 or 2 runs where they did really well, like 15, 20k. Well, actually, it was like 15 to 17k. If you want to call that reasonable. But in most of the runs, they've been sub 10k, usually hanging around 5 to 7. What other queue can I do? Yes, another queue. And the other issue is that it's coming at the cost of me lowering Chemo 2 down to Chemo 1 so I can fit Dispersal Pattern Beta 1 in. So overall, I think I'm looking at a loss. The mines just, even with all the buffs they've given them, they added this new ability, even with that, they're still too slow. And they just don't do enough damage. Like, I'm using a Photon Mine, damage 4, with the double damage epic mod. It's still just not enough. I was really hoping to give Ranger an AFK penalty there, just to mess with him, but unfortunately not. All he got was the HSC cooldown. Unfortunate. Just wanted to rub some salt in the wound. Gonna put something different on now. I need some fun clicky console. I guess I'll just keep this one on for now. Ranger's been very insistent that I put the bio-neural infusion circuits in that slot, but I've just been making sure to do something different instead. Just do the opposite of what he says, basically. See, that Shran console pulled him right out of the gravity well even, and I don't have much Control X on this build. I just like how she took so much damage right there that she just died in the cloak like that. I have no idea who that is, so I'm going to decline. Do I have all my endeavors done for today? Yeah. I need to go earn Dabo at DS9. Yeah, yeah, it was. I don't usually accept any random invites. Usually I just slash hide and remain hidden when I'm actually online. What am I doing? I'm so used to just running straight to the exchange.
spin the wheel and win.
That's it. I don't remember the exact slots. I wish you could bet more with this. 100 EC is, nothing. Yeah, that was easy.
How are you gonna spend your winnings?
Nice. I really like in the mark boxes. Just a shame that the discovery marks aren't an option in them yet. They're intentionally keeping them out of there to make us go and grind the other stuff. Oh, no room for that in there. Okay. I need to get something sold, so I guess I'll sell this Sona. Ceaseless is at 2 mil. What's Glorious Charge at? I'm not surprised by this console being this cheap. Glorious Charge isn't that good. Yeah, the Sona Intel Battlecruisers are really good shit. Ranger, don't you still owe me some EC? From the one that, I traded to you? How much do you have left to pay me off on that, Ranger? I don't remember. What was the exact amount?
Hey, hands off a hologram.
Terrible. I need to find more characters that I can just dump some of these weapons on. I've got too many. What are these going for now? I should log into this character a bit more just to refine the dilithium. I've not been keeping up on that at all. I was really hoping to find a crit D or crit H energy weapon officer on this character. Do I have any DOF packs I can open or something? It's a Fed. Terrible. Yeah, dude, I haven't done my contraband on most of my characters in ages. I've done contraband maybe once in the last, oh, maybe once or twice in the last 2 to 3 months. Resource-wise, I have honestly just been riding on my past, like, just my past assets, my ships, the stuff I got gambling, like that's been carrying me for quite some time. I haven't done any grinding for EC in a while. Why'd it be that this is not where I meant to go? I just don't remember what all this character has on it. I used to open quite a few lockboxes on this character and then I just stopped. What is this? Is this the new one from the Section 31 Science Destroyer? I don't remember. Ah, this is the previous. Okay. This is the experimental weapon off of the mirror crossfield. This is the one off the Section 31 Science Destroyer. I think. Yeah. Okay, what do I have duty officer wise? Let's go to tractor beam, turn that off. I want to see if I have any energy weapon officers here. Yep, there's a crit chance, crit severity. Let's see what those are going for on KDF side. Yeah, the Section 31 heavy weapon is very good from what I've used, from what I've seen from it so far. The issue I have is I don't have any ships right now that I really use that I would use it on. Okay, so the cheapest crit chance is 115, crit severity is similar. I'm just taking my mouse up and down over these so it updates the text on them. I find that usually works very well, because otherwise a lot of these just do not want to update. As you can see there, they slowly update when you take your mouse over them. Okay, so I need EC. I don't care about these. 110 mil. I don't really care about this character anymore because while I have invested a lot in this character, Cryptic's policy on lockbox ships has made me not invest any more time or effort, energy, anything into this character. I can't afford to keep a bunch of characters running. It's too expensive. I don't have any KDF battery DOS. What about consultants? I don't think this character had any. Yeah, they really need to, but they're not gonna do it. They have no real incentive to do it. Not when people are willingly just going out and buying the ships on multiple characters anyways. They have no reason to make these ships account wide. So they're not going to. Okay, I'm gonna find a numbered character here that has some inventory space. Dump all those covert weapons out into its inventory. This one, yeah, it's got enough room. If ISA is off cooldown, I'm gonna run another. Beam up here and see if the cooldown's done. Yep. Okay, I'm joining the ISA public queue. If anyone wants to join, it's just the public queue. It's this guy, Ranger. Can get your attacks in here shortly, Ranger. Just pulling it up now. There's nothing on the parse worth showing. It was a subpar run for everything. Let's see what this message is. Well, there's not much more I can show with this build right now. The lag is a bit annoying. I feel like some of my abilities just aren't effectively cooling down. Like, I wonder if something's going on with my Oxtabat here. Because I've got my 3 Oxtabat offs on, but it feels like some of the timing of these abilities just isn't normal. I'm just gonna chain this a few times and I gotta wait for attack initiative to come off, but it's just felt weird so far. Like something just feels slightly off. Attack initiative will keep everything down, so that's got 20 seconds left on it. My scatter volley wasn't affected by that, oh. That's ETM interfering with it. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit overboard though. I might try Photonic Officer just alongside this just to cover some of those small gaps that I thought I was seeing in combat. I probably don't need it. The Oxtabat should be sufficient, but it felt like some of my abilities were not coming back up as fast as they normally do. Is there anything else with this build that anyone's curious about or anything? I know I didn't like go through the build and all that, but this isn't a final build finalized. It's still got some work left to it. Alright, close out of that. I wish there was a better photon mine that I could use for this. But unfortunately, as far as I can see, the best I can get is just a simple crafted photon. Because I looked on the wiki even earlier and there was no other photon that I could find. The ranger says to check out the Drunner photon. I'm gonna go see what one of those looks like. I don't know why it's patching there. I have on-demand patching. Let's go see what this mine looks like. What is the proc? My speech is double? Is anyone else having audio issues? My speech is double? Sounds fine on my end. So the torps have the procs, but the mines... Do any of the mines have it? The mines just straight up don't say... They don't even mention this proc. I'll get one to try it out, but I don't expect much out of this. Yeah, I might run another Starbase later, but I've already run one or two the last little bit. Okay, Ranger's messaging me saying he's pretty sure he's seen it before, so I'll take his word on it. I need to swap characters and grab my research accelerators though. I think this character here had them. I need the upgrade accelerators just to make this a little less expensive to upgrade.
This could be your day.
Yeah, this is where they've all been hiding, I guess. Where did that just go in my inventory? Okay. So let me go back up to space and just look at,
Need something?
just compare them.
Clear you.
No point to re-engineer them though, because I got damage 3 on them off the bat, and then the epic mod by default for mines is damage. So let's take a look here. So the base damage slightly lower, but same recharge. Everything else is the same. It's just going to be a matter of seeing if the proc is worth anything, which I hope it is, but I'll be surprised. I won't be surprised if it doesn't do really anything noticeable. I'm gonna go... What can I do here? I'm not gonna really see it in Cure, but I'll do a Cure space public queue if anyone wants to join. Oh, that popped fast. I'll do a Cure and then a Kittimer. See if I get any heal procs off of it. Alan, I'm just joining the public queues for him. I haven't been forming any teams, it's just been joining the queues and calling out when to join them. I'm using the Photonic Officer alongside the Oxabat just because I felt like there's been some gaps with some of my cooldown reduction. Yeah, if any of those procs went off, I can't see it in the parse. They likely didn't because the mines just didn't have enough time to do anything. Cure's an insanely easy queue, so it's not surprising that they didn't have time to actually deploy and hit targets. It's to be expected. Okay, I'm gonna join the Kittimer queue in about 30 seconds. Just gonna wait for these cooldowns to tick down a little. Okay, joining the queue. Kittimer space advanced. Nope. There is no way to transfer gear between Xbox to PC or from PC to Xbox. They're entirely different servers. Everything is separated from each other. Hello, Alan. take a look at the parse for that one. I'll pull that up on the screen. Just a sec. EBM didn't do too much there for me. I guess this is consistent with a lot of the previous runs. Isolated Terror did pretty good there, 12.3. Actually did more than my drone ships in that run. The mines, 8k on the mines. And I don't think I'll see anything from the proc, because if I recall, the proc is like, it's regen for the colony stuff, so. I guess I have to actually watch for the proc to pop up. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to run that mine and the photon I was running earlier. And I need these kinetic batteries to stop popping off my tray. Alan, I'll take a picture and send that to you in Discord for what your beams did, if you're still listening. Okay. I sent you a picture with most of your abilities. How much am I getting out of chemo? I only have the chemo 1 on because I dropped chemo 2 to put the mine ability on, so in that run there I got about 11 to 12k, and that's been pretty consistent with most of my runs, with just the chemo 1, right around 11 to 12. I was getting, I think on average, about 15 or 16k with chemo 2. I think there were a few runs a while back where I had almost 30k, but those were really rare spikes. Yeah, I'm not sure how much right now this 2-piece is actually getting me. The radiation damage buff is still solid for chemo, but chemo's right on the border of not doing enough, I'd say. I mean, 11 to 12k is nice. It's more than the majority of the players playing this game, but in this case, it's just not quite enough. Okay, I got 5 minutes on ISA. What else do I need to do? Actually, I'm gonna go... the Romulus system. Yeah, I've seen chemo do a good bit before. But under the current condition of this build, and with it just being chemo 1, it's not doing too well. Honestly, what I think I'm going to try right now is dropping the mine dispersal pattern and just letting the mines do their own natural thing, and then that'll let me run chemo 2 again, and I'll put distributed targeting 1 on. I think that'll be a DPS improvement overall, because the mine ability I don't think is doing much. If it is, then that's pretty sad for mines. I'm gonna take this back off. I want to see if the timing issue is still persistent. Just gonna go over to Gamma Aerodon. Do that new Romulus patrol over there. I should use my slipstream a bit more, but I figured it was close enough. Close enough that it actually won't start. There it goes. I was hoping to see a buff from the mines. That was set to normal difficulty and it just it didn't provide enough time for the mines to like really kick in. I was hoping to see a proc from the colony mines, because I want to make sure that they're not just broken and completely ignoring the fact that they have a proc on them, or that they're supposed to. Because when you go to that store, when you look at them, every other fleet colony weapon has a proc labeled on it, but these things, they just don't. When you look under more details, doesn't mention it at all. I bet that's like the same thing, yeah. Like you can't tell that these are different mines other than the icon and, you know, the name, and that this has a proc instead of a 4th damage mod. But like stat wise, they're basically identical. It's just this one has an invisible proc apparently. Does anyone actually use these colony mines and seen a proc go off? I'm gonna guess that's a no, because who would buy them and who would actually use them? I'm gonna do another ISA. I think trying with a 3rd mine launcher would be interesting, but I'd have to drop this Dyson 3-piece, which this Dyson 3-piece is really, really nice for photons. 10% crit chance and severity. I don't think a third mine launcher is worth losing 10% crit chance on everything else, basically. Ranger wants me to drop the Terran, and that Terran 3-piece. Terrible Ranger. This is really bad lag. $236. But that was a really sloppy run. That lag is terrible. Let's take a look at that parse though. Still nothing too different. Chemo did 20k this time instead of doing 12, so that's quite an improvement. Where are the mines at? The mines are doing basically the same damage. So, welcome back on. Yeah, these photon mines, from what I'm seeing, I mean, though I gotta factor in that there's two mine launchers on now instead of just one, but I'm getting the same number there as I was getting basically with the dispersal pattern, so yeah, I'm not gonna waste a slot on the dispersal pattern. No, the stream's working, Ranger. I haven't gotten any warnings yet or anything that it's crashed. Now, chemo is still good. It's just that in some of the previous runs, the chemo one I was using wasn't doing as much as I'd hoped. It was doing like 11 to 12k with chemo one. And on a Torp build, you're supposed to get a little bit more out of chemo, so I was hoping for just a little bit more than that. You run the highest rank of chemo that you can fit on your build. I don't remember what you have on your build, Alan, but you just keep it as is. It's nothing really to worry about. It's just I had dropped from Chemo 2 down to Chemo 1 in hope that slotting a mine ability would help the 2 mines that I have on this build. And unfortunately, it didn't really help. The mine ability didn't really add any DPS to the mines, so the drop from Chemo 2 to Chemo 1 was just a overall DPS loss in that situation for me. Okay, Alan, you were mentioning Starbase 1. I'm gonna queue up for a Starbase 1 Elite, just to get some more disco marks. So just join that public queue. Also, your dual beam bank, it's broken. It's doing like half the damage it's supposed to. That'll be fixed here in a week or so. The dual beam bank from this rep. If anyone else wants to join, it's the Starbase, or Defense of Starbase 1 Elite public queue. I'll put a link in here. This is a comment from Bordicus on the subreddit regarding the dual beam bank. They are dealing less damage than intended, is the summary of it. I'm just flying around waiting for this queue to pop. There it goes.
Listen up. The war has... Here they come.
hit stuff. I need abilities to register when I click them.
Reading some heavier ships incoming. Raiders attack.
Whatever was hitting me there just cut my shields down. Yeah, they were throwing torps back at me. This is not a very tanky setup. It could be made into one, but I'm too lazy. Yeah, I can upload this to YouTube.
Position to prepare for the next assault. Here come the Klingon battleships. Keep fighting!
That was a solid run. I guess the good thing about Starbase 1 is it's only like, it's under 10 minutes. Some of these other queues you have as options for grinding up reps are just abysmal. Yeah, that was a smooth run though. I'll take a look at that parcel, just see if the mines did anything in there. Get that on the screen here in a moment. So my mines were my top damage in there. That's weird. 20k almost from them. Definitely they do more in different types of queues, that's for sure. They're not consistently good though, like other weapon types. And even then, if you want to call 20k DPS good, because 20k from 2 weapon slots is and that's just about what you're going to be looking at from 2 turrets at the low end on a good run. So mine still need a lot of help. Yeah. But that's just... STO is a game that has such a huge lack of like just information in the game, you know. It's... most people will not put any effort in to go out and look at something like STO builds just to get a basic idea of what they should be doing with their build. Instead, you got people that are going around slotting like phasers, tetrions, polarons all in the same build. They got mines on, they got a torp fore and aft. Just they make all these basic mistakes that end up making their performance so bad that a hanger pet will do more than their entire build does in the queue. It makes it frustrating just going into some of these public queues because the players in them are just so poorly performing. It's why if you're building for advanced, it's always recommended that you build your ship well enough that you can essentially solo the queue. Because there's always going to be that possibility that the other 4 people that you get in there, especially if they're using the random system, may have never played that queue before, and may certainly not have a build capable of even doing that queue on like a normal difficulty. Because there are people, like you see it on the subreddit still, where people complain because normal difficulty missions are too hard for them. It's just a very sad state. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Alan, I forgot to call that one out. Alan, if he's doing that, he's got to be doing it over on Tribble because nobody can have that level of rep unlocked yet. And I won't name that individual, but that individual historically has used Tribble to do things, to just like do record runs and stuff because he's unable to get stuff on holodeck. I'm gonna join the Kittimer Advanced Public Queue now. I know I'm just doing the Borg stuff, but the Borg stuff is the most enjoyable. Okay, joining Kittimer Public Queue. Kittimer Space. Okay. Yeah, the Discovery rep shields, from what I understand so far, have potential to be maybe the new DPS choice for builds. Basically, they have a proc on them that makes it so when you shoot a target, you do more damage to that target's shields. And in elite queues especially, that is going to be very valuable. But that's still a ways off for most people, and if you see people out there doing runs, setting records with, that equipped, they're not doing it on holodeck. Because you're still a few weeks out, I'd say, from hitting or unlocking those on holodeck, because those are what are those at? It's not 4, it's 5. So nobody's got tier 5 in this rep yet. Okay, Kittimer popped, I'm going in. That is when it actually decides to put me in. randoms having issues with the probes. I'm just gonna let them keep struggling. I haven't paid attention to the ground stuff yet. And the mine's just finished her. There we go. That was funny though. We go over to the left side, or the right side I mean, and there's a pug that wasn't getting the probes there. When that happens, I just let them keep working at them. We all were at that point at one time where we didn't have enough damage to take out a probe and get him. I think everyone was there at some point. That was a really fast, powerful run. Yeah. It's a shame there's not more queues like those. Like, these Omega queues, they're so popular because they're simple. You can burst through them so well. But these other ones, like, think about Gateway to Gruthor. You're sitting there for how long? You know, that's annoying. I'm gonna join this HSC run in Elites. Gonna join this HSC and DPS Elites if I get an invite. I don't think I'm going to get an invite. There it goes. Alan, if you're in DPS Elites or 75, just type HSC and he'll send you an invite. I'm not the one hosting this, it's this guy, Spock guy. Oh, no, I wasn't queuing for Herald. I was simply talking about how the Herald queue's bad. Yeah, just type HSC and 75 until sending an invite. Just give him a minute to invite. No, they invited somebody else from a different channel. Let me back out of this. Okay. I'll send you a team invite. We'll just go into public queue. That guy, when he invites, he calls out in multiple channels, and he often will miss people. If anyone wants to join, this is going to be a very interesting run. HSE public queue. Make sure you're in. Yeah, you're in here. If you're a tank or a psi, feel free to join, or if you want to do DPS, go for it. I expect to die a few times here if there's not a tank, though. This HSC will probably be the last thing I do today. I gotta go deal with some real life stuff. And I've been streaming for almost 4 hours, so I'm gonna go take a break. That is, if this HSC ever pops. Okay, so Stargate's in the queue. We need just 2 more people, 2 more brave souls to join this queue. Slowly waiting. Man, this thing still ain't popped. Just need a few more to queue for this. Join the public Hive Onslaught Elite queue. Anytime. Post in some channels. Welcome back. This thing still hasn't popped. If this doesn't pop by... Okay, there it goes. There's the pop. I was gonna say, if it doesn't pop by 30 after, I'm gonna end it there. But I'm gonna get this HSE done. And then I'm gonna hop off for the day. This 4-hour stream is more than enough for one day. Okay, we have a Psy, but I don't think we have a like a tank. So, Alan, I think you're gonna be under a lot of fire here.
Join us. Become one with us. I am not in a setup that is really set up for any survivability. So I expect a few more deaths in this.
We don't have a tank in here, so this is a bit rough for me. Yeah, it was rough for me. Good game all. Thank you for joining the public queue. Let's take a look at the parse. Oh, if I had this desktop capture on the entire time, oops. I have my actual SCM real-time parser like in the center here. On the stream, it's meant to cover the chat. Just in case someone PMs me something and I don't want it on stream. That wasn't a good run for this. It was really long. I had how many deaths? 3 deaths. Just wasn't the best run for me. Mine's at 12.5k. Yeah. Nothing too special there. Oh, Alan, yeah. I'll send you a picture of your parse on Discord. To everyone though, thank you for tuning in. I'll be streaming again either next Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. I'll say when on Discord. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching.